What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the driveway, and welcome back to the 2024 Houston Auto Show. Now, I'm over here with Volkswagen because there seems to be a bit of a buzz coming from their display. That's a little bit of a hint for what should be coming later. However, since I know this brand pretty well, having sold these cars brand new not that long ago, I figured I'd give you guys a whistle-stop tour and show you what the Germans have in store for the market this year. Alright, now I'm going to cut straight to the chase. The buzz over here at Volkswagen for the 2024 Houston Auto Show is not coming from the ID4. It is what is parked right next to it. This crazy looking contraption that is known as the ID Buzz. Now, I never thought I would get a chance to see this thing up close and personal, and of course I can't get too close because it's roped off, but this should be what theoretically is the US spec version of the modern day Volkswagen minibus. And I gotta say, this thing is wild. Look at that. That is so bizarre looking. I love how you've got like the little cargo compartments underneath with the shelf sitting up more on the top. Let's see if we can get a quick peek on the inside here. Look at that interior. It's the same color as the outside with the white and the neon green. Not quite sure how I feel about that neon yellowish green. It's actually a lot paler, yeah, it's a little more pale in person compared to how it comes out on camera. But the interior from this angle looks pretty much like that of what is already on the market with the ID4. But still, that is such a wild looking vehicle. And I never imagined that Volkswagen would dig so deep into their heritage and bring us back a modern minibus. All right, now with the buzz out of the way, I wanted to focus on Volkswagen's next best seller. And I'm not talking about the Jetta, I am talking about the Volkswagen Atlas, which, as we can tell, or as we may have heard, has been completely redesigned, or at least heavily refreshed, for the 2024 model year. Now, while I could look at a normal SE with technology, or even an SEL, or even go as far as an SEL R-Line, I wanted to focus on the Atlas Peak Edition, which is basically akin to what the Trail Sport is to the Honda Pilot and what the Timberline is to the Ford Explorer. But already looking at it, I love the fact that the headlights got a little bit smaller, but I love the LED daytime running light going across the front, the illuminated badge. Love these more aggressive, gloss black wheels in place of, something a little bigger. These are 18-inch wheels. Got your special edition badge. I even love the color on this. It's kind of grayish, mossy green color. Very rugged and outdoorsy looking. And before looking at the interior while admiring the rough and ruggedness of the outside, one thing that I actually do admire Volkswagen for doing is filling in the gap between these LED taillights. If I remember correctly on the old one, actually I do remember on the old one, they had a very similar design language going on here, but you have the LED light bar that goes all the way across with the illuminated badge in the middle, just like it was on the front. Very interesting to see that this one has been branded as an SE. I'm guessing this is a package that has been added on to the Atlas, as you can see. Very interesting exhaust finishers down there too. Look at that. Now, if the outside's anything to go by, the inside should be pretty well equipped, ready for the wilderness. And I'm happy to say, it definitely looks like it. Look at these seats. I love the two-tone gray with the orange stitch, the quilted leather in the middle. They don't feel like typical leather though. They feel more kind of like the VTEX leatherette material, but you've got the orange stitch on the center console here in the middle. I love that little kind of toggle gear selector. Very, very interesting. But I also love that they've gone completely digital. You have the full virtual cockpit. You have a much bigger infotainment display. I love how they've cleaned this up. And the way I've always described Volkswagen cars, especially on the Atlas, is that they give you everything that you need and nothing that you don't. One thing that a lot of people used to say is that the interior was too simplistic for the price tag, but in this, I think it's the perfect demonstration of such a statement. And I love the fact that when you close the doors, listen how solid that sounds. just like a bank vault door. And the other thing I also loved about the Atlas, and that seat is very far forward, but there is a boatload of room back here. That was always the selling point for the Atlas for me, was the fact that there's just so much room that even someone well over 6 feet could definitely fit in here with ease. Of course, what would a whistle-stop tour be with Volkswagen without looking at two of the hottest cars they currently have to offer? Both built in Germany and both true icons in their own nature. Of course, got the Mark 8 GTI and its more powerful sibling, the Mark 8 Golf R. And there's one key difference between these two cars that I absolutely love, and it's on, believe it or not, the GTI, not the Golf R. It is the paint color. The Golf R, sitting over there that we'll see in a moment, is in pure white, a non-metallic flat white. This is the new opal white, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Look how wet that paint looks with the metallic and the pearlescent in it. This one has the dual clutch transmission in it. I love the black, gray, and red going on in here. The GTI embroidery, look at that. Twin digital displays. I know a lot of people were saying it was rather, I guess, awkward to have this little toggle in here, but considering that Porsche uses the same thing in their high-powered cars, may not be such a bad thing. And look at that. Look at that start button pulsing like it's giving this car a heartbeat. That's awesome. And while the GTI is one thing, the R is a completely different story, and pretty much everybody knows why. All-wheel drive, 300 plus horsepower, either a manual or the dual clutch automatic. Just a wicked car. And to show you the difference in the paint color that I'm talking about, if you look closely, there's no pearlescent or metallic anywhere in this paint. It is a complete flat white. The one thing I love on this Mark 8 version is the blue going across the middle to highlight it as the R, aside from the obvious logo there in the middle. It is not illuminated because, well, that would be illegal. You can't have blue or red lights on any civilian car that's not emergency designated. Okay, enough talking. There is one place I want to get to, and that is inside this thing, because I have never actually sat in a Golf R. Oh, this is comfy. This is incredibly comfortable. The seats are bolstered perfectly. I love the carbon touch on the dash in this one. Got that engine start stop right there, and again, kind of the same little toggle that we saw in the GTI. But it just feels so right in here. The steering wheel's a bit of an oddball design. Look at that little notch right there on the bottom with the perforations on the side. You've got paddle shifters at the back. That is so cool. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this now concludes our little whistle-stop walkthrough of the Volkswagen stand here at the 2024 Houston Auto Show. I do hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves as much as I have, because, well, for one, that ID buzz, that is the coolest thing ever. And by the way, one thing I just learned from a product specialist after filming that clip, that's a European spec model. That's not even the full version that we're going to get here in the US, which is just awesome. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up, and while you're at it, hit the subscribe button down below, because trust me, I always appreciate the support. But in the end, guys, I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.